I was in an airport recently. There were no staff, only robots. It was really weird.
Okay.
But we're setting up a world where we can live without people. Driverless taxis, banks without any staff, shops without any delivery service, where they just leave everything outside your door and never come in.
Yeah.
So we're creating this world. It's very scary what we're doing.
Exactly, because
but it doesn't kill us.
But what I wanted to understand from you is now, because of AI and the way things are growing, also what is growing is the loneliness that this generation feels.
An epidemic of loneliness.
Why do you think that this amount of loneliness, though we are all connected virtually, why do you think we have that level of loneliness right now?
We are tribal people, and in our very DNA, we require people. People require people. We're required to live in a tribe and sit around the fire and talk to people. So we might be at home with our Netflix, and our ice cream is delivered, and we've got everything. But if you haven't got a person, years ago I was babysitting for somebody, my nephew, and he had one of those little, the little thing you can talk to. What's it called? The baby monitor.
Oh, right.
And I was downstairs, he was upstairs, and he was talking. And I said to the monitor, Austin, you've got to go to sleep. And he went, I need somebody with skin on to come and talk to me. And I loved that. He said, I need somebody with skin on, because he could hear my voice. He said, I need somebody with skin on to come in the room, because it's like saying I've got a baby and I've got a robot to nurse the baby, feed the baby, but the baby's not going to thrive.
Yeah.
Because we need people. And I think we're forgetting how much we need people. There was a study done years ago where they took a little newborn monkey and they took it away from its mother and they gave it a hot water bottle with a monkey skin on it. And at night they put ice cold water in it so the monkey couldn't cover it. And the monkey just died because we are wired.
The connection.
We need hugging. If you go to, if I wanted a pet in England, especially went to a pet shop, they go, you need two. Take 2 cats or 2 dogs or 2 mice. They like a little companion. But we don't, even in the zoo, we go, oh, look, that's so cruel. That lion needs a mate. But we don't do it to ourselves.
Yes.
We campaign to make sure the swan or the polar bear's got a little companion, but we allow ourselves to be alone in our houses, working from home. And we don't have any people. Then it's making people really ill.
Yes.
It's making them depressed because we need connection.
Okay.
As much as we need food and air and water and vitamins, connection is a necessity, a requirement for humans.
Yes. And also, if you take a look at the trend that is there right now, I think this generation, there are so many people who either choose not to have children or they choose not to get married. They call it the DINK, which is double income, no kids.
Yes.
What do you think is the reason for the rise or the surge of so many people choosing to not get married or choosing to not have children?
I think people say things like, it's so hard being married, such hard work. Really? I found being single hard work. When I was ill, I had to get up, get my own prescription. I had to make my own soup. I had to answer the door to Deliveroo when I was sick.
Yeah.
When I had a husband, he said, I'll do it. You just stay there.
Yes.
And he looked after me beautifully.
Yes.
So I find being single is hard. Being married is a wonderful thing because you've got someone who does for you, has your back.
Yes.
But if we listen to people talk, it's so hard being married. It's such hard work. It's so hard being a parent. Oh, my God, the work involved. That's not even true. But people have heard all these things and think, it's not worth it. I don't want to go through that. And I think we've done a real number on the current generation, making them scared of work, scared of love,
scared of marriage,
kids. Scared of friendships, scared. So many people say, I'd rather have an animal. I've got my dogs, I've got my cats, they never lie, they never cheat.
It's coming from the fear of, I don't want to be lied to.
It's fear of rejection. Everything is the fear of rejection.
Okay.
And so a lot of people are giving up the things that we've made so important, friendship, love, relationships, because they fear it going wrong, rather than saying, there's a lot of material out there that could help me make sure it goes right.
What do you think this is going to cost them in the future?
I think it's costing now. I mean, we have an epidemic. 1 in 8 people has severe mental health issues around the world. 1 in 8.
Okay.
And it's soon going to be 1 in 7. And the highest group is young men, followed by old people who are desperately lonely.
Okay.
The highest suicide group is young guys who are alone.
Okay.
Even very good looking, nice, lovely ones. I mean, they're all lovely. But we can see already the price we're paying for valuing things over people, for saying, work hard, make money, go to college, rather than, work hard, make money, share your life. Have someone to wake up with and come home to that loves you.
Yeah.
You know, that's what matters.
No, that's very true.
You know, when people are dying, no one says, hey, I was a great dentist. They go, I loved my wife.
Yes.
I have got 4 children and 6 grandchildren or 1 child. But no one says on their deathbed, I was an amazing mechanic, you know.
Yeah.
They say, I had love.
Yeah.
Because our greatest moments are not, wow, I got promoted. Wow. You know, I've written 7 books, and I was thinking about that, but my daughter just had a baby. And that was so lovely, being in hospital when he was born, holding him when he was born. And that meant so much more than all the times I got a book deal and went on stage. So it was such a magical thing, his birth. And her birth, too, was probably the best day of my life, was the day she was born. It wasn't when I got a book deal or went on stage to thousands of people. And most people will say the same. It was, you know, when I had a baby, when I got married, when we did something together. It's very rarely when I got that promotion.
Yeah.
So we have to remember what matters, and it's always how we interact with others, how they interact with us.
Right.
You know, I read recently that you live longer, up to 17 years longer, if you have friendships.
Okay.
I mean, if you look at the blue zones where people live for long into their hundreds, there's a couple of things that they exercise a lot because they walk around. They're often in mountainous areas. But the big thing is they are part of a community.
Okay.
They cook dinner with their family. They feel important. They're involved in their grandchildren's lives. So we know what makes you live longer.
Yeah.
It's feeling that you matter, that you belong.
Okay.
And the opposite is not. You know, I was a couple of years ago asked to work with 18 suicidal teenagers. All at this. I was at a place. It was like a retreat, and they were all there. And I had to work with them all at the same time. So I had 18 kids who've all expressed an interest in killing themselves. One was 12, one was 18, the rest were in the middle. One was quite a famous footballer, so that was surprising.
Okay.
I said, okay, you know, I've only got an hour, so lie in a circle with your head in and your legs out. I'm going to walk around the circle. I'm going to help all of you at the same time. But here's a piece of paper, a piece of paper, write on it what you need. So as I walk around these 18 kids, I can remember, because 18 is quite a lot. So each kid took a piece of paper, lay it on their chest and lay it on the floor and shut their eyes. I walked around, you know, it almost broke my heart because they all wrote almost the same thing. They wrote, I've still got the pieces of paper, they wrote, I just want to belong. I need to matter.
Oh boy.
I wish I was enough. Different varieties of that. And these kids were at an event where their parents had paid for them to go to this place. They didn't come from families who'd abandoned them, but they all felt that they didn't matter, that they weren't enough, that they weren't significant. They just didn't feel they mattered at all. And that was a cross-section of what's happening in the world now. Most kids will say, I don't matter.
Yeah.
I'm not enough. I don't feel significant. And the not enoughness is like an epidemic. That's why I created the I'm Enough movement. I have these bracelets. They're so old now that say I'm enough. And I see people every day who'll say, but I'm not enough. And some of them are famous, drop-dead gorgeous billionaires. And some of them are school teachers and firemen and police officers. But across the board, we have this epidemic of not feeling good enough, lovable enough, worthy enough, interesting enough. When you don't think you're enough, you need more food, more alcohol, more stuff to buy, more stuff to medicate. And the whole world is really suffering from this not enoughness. It's become a huge epidemic.